Hello students, in this video we are going to see how we can configure the network using EIGRP protocol, Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. So we can see how we can connect two devices, two networks. So let me drag two PCs per network. So in this video we are going to see about connecting two networks. So PCs, and always it is a best practice to connect the PC with the switch. Then the switch should be connected to the router. So select the switch. I'm selecting 2950 switch, which is one of the very standard. Can connect 24 system with this switch. Then this is network 1, this network 2. Since it is different networks, we need two routers, each for one network. So go to the router. I'm selecting 2911 router. Then we have to connect using the copper straight through cable. So I'm connecting with this is the usual connection which we'll be doing in the previous exercise. Continuation of the same. Connect with this router gigabit interface. Connect switch 3 with router 3, the gigabit Ethernet connections. So now we have created the network, not yet configured, okay, because just we have created the physical connection for two networks. Then we have to connect these two routers together. For connecting the router, normally we will be using the serial port, but by default the serial port won't be enabled in the router. So first we have to enable the serial port, then we have to connect it. So click on the router, go to the physical, first switch off the router switch. Okay, first switch it off, then drag the interface HWIC2T, which is used for giving the serial connection, then switch it on. The same we are going to do for the router 3. Click on this, go to the physical, first switch off the router, drag HWIC2T, then switch it on. So after providing that interface, we got to switch on the router. Now if you are clicking on the router, go to the configuration, these serial ports will be there, serial 0 bar 0, 0 bar 1. Before adding that HWIC2T interface, this serial won't be there. You can check it on your own. In both the router will be having the serial interface. Okay, so we are having it. Now for connecting this routers, we'll be using serial DCE connection. Click on this. Click on serial 0 by 0 router 2 with router 3 serial 0 by 0. Yes, now we have given the physical connection between two networks. So in order to clearly understand this, just I'll be drawing the oval shape. So this is network 1, this is network 2, and these two routers forms a separate network. So now three network addresses we have to use. Three network are existing in this connection. Okay, so now we have to go for the configuration. So now I'm going for the PC desktop IP configuration. I'm setting the IP 192.168.1.1.0 we should not give, because 1.0 is the network address. So this network address 1.1, the very first IP after the network address, it is assigned for the router. Also it is called as a gateway node. Okay, for this router I'll be assigning 192.168.1.1. So from 1.2 will be start assigning for the PCs. So I'm giving 1.2 for this PC. The default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and we have to give the default gateway. Right now I told you what is a gateway: 192.168.1.1 for this network. Okay, closing it. Also, it is good to add some. Okay, can do it later. Similarly, we have to set the IP configuration for other systems. PC5 it is the same network. So I'm giving the next IP 192.168.1.3. Subnet mask 255. Default gateway. This is also the same one. So I'm typing 192.168.1.1. For all the PCs in the same network, we got to give the same default gateway. The same router IP we got to give. And now go to this router 2. Click on this. This router 2 is connected with PC4 and PC5 through gigabit Ethernet 0 by 0 interface. So click on that particular interface, gigabit Ethernet 0 by 0. Click on this. Type the IP 192.168.1.1. Subnet mask, the default subnet mask for class C. This is the default subnet mask. Then switch it on. Okay. So now we have set the IPs for network 1, that is 1.0 network. Similarly, we have to do it for the another network. So I'm going to this network, selecting PC6. Click on this. Go to desktop, IP configuration. Type 192.168.2. Because it is a next network, we got to start with the 2. Series. 2.0 is the network address. 2.1 is the address we are going to give for the router. So start with 2.2. And this is a subnet mask for all the class B addresses. And now what is the default gateway? 192.168.2.1. Okay, so this we set for PC6 and PC7. Go to desktop, go to IP configuration, set the IP 192.168.2.3. And what is the default gateway? For all the system from the same network, same default gateway 2.1. Okay. So now we have set the IP address for these two PCs. Now go to the router 3. Click on this. So this network 2.0 network is connected with the gigabit Ethernet 0 by 0. Click on this. You have to set the IP 192.168.2.1. And this is a subnet mask. Switch on the router. Good. So now we have set the IP. We have configured IP for the PCs, then with the router for these two networks. The next step is we have to configure the IP for the third network. That is the network which connects the router together. Okay. So click on the router 2. These two routers are connected through the interface serial 0 bar 0 bar 0. So click on this. Okay. So we can give the third network 192.168.3.3.0 is the network address. So 3.1 we can give for the router. Okay. So 3.1 I have given. Close this. Go to the router 3. Then go to serial 0 bar 0 bar 0. Click on this. Set the IP 192.168.3.2. Can give this. Then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Then switch it on. So yeah, always it is best practice to add the network address, okay, near to the network. So this is 3.0 network, this network, and this network is 2.0 network. 2.0 network address. Okay, and this network is 1.0 network. Okay. Okay. So now we got to set the EIGRP protocol to enable the message communication between these two networks. So for setting the EIGRP protocol, we got to go to the CLI command in the router. So click on the router 2. So go to CLI command. Okay. Now by default it is in config IP. For some of you, I'll be telling you. First I'm coming out of the configuration. Okay. So since I have set the configurations, it entered the config mode. By default, the router will be in user mode. So we have to go to the root mode, more or less like the admin mode, to set the configuration. To enter the root mode, we have to type the command en, enable en. Note it. Now we have entered the root mode. Now after entering the enable mode, we got to set the configuration. So setting config t. So we entered the configuration setting. Now we have to set the EIGRP protocol in router 2. For that the command is router EIGRP, the protocol, and we got to set an identification for the autonomous system. Now I'm setting the identification as 1. Router space EIGRP space 1. Router is the command, EIGRP is the protocol we are going to use, and 1 is the identification of the autonomous system. Enter. Now router 2 has two networks. One network is 192.168.1.0. Another network is 192.168.3.0. So we got to set it. For that the command is network space 192.168.1.0. After specifying the network address, we have to set the wildcard mask address. Wildcard mask address is nothing but complement of subnet mask. The subnet mask of class C address is 255.255.255.0. The complement of that number is 0.0.0.255. So this is a wildcard mask address I am setting. So I have configured 192.168.1.0 address. The next address is 192.168.3.0. I'm typing it here. Network space 192.168.3.0. You have to note it, we have to specify the network address, not the PC address or the router address. Again, we have to set the wildcard mask 0.0.0.255. So now we have configured the EIGRP protocol in router 2. The same we are going to do in router 3. Make a note of it. I'm going to router 3. So it is in user mode. We got to go to the root mode. For that I am giving the command en enable. When hashtag is coming, we have entered the root mode. Then we are going to set the configuration conf t. So I have entered the configuration. Now we have to specify which protocol we are going to use. For that, router space EIGRP space 1. Since all the three networks are coming under the same autonomous system, we are going to use the number 1. Router space EIGRP space 1. Now we have to set the network. So this router 3 is having two networks. One network is 192.168.2.0, another one is 192.168.3.0. So we got to specify both the addresses. So look at the command network space 192.168.2.0. Then we got to give the wildcard mask, that is 0.0.0.0.255. Another address, network address is 192.168.3.0 space 0.0.0.255. Yes, I have configured both the networks 2.0 and 3.0. As we have configured here also. Now we can transmit the data. So look at the IP of PC7. This is 2.3. So from PC4, I'm going to send a message to PC7. Click at PC4, go to command prompt, type ping 192.168.3.0. So I'm getting the response back from okay, 3.0 is reachable. We can give 192.168.2.3, the particular system number. So we're getting the reply back. So both from the network we are getting the reply, and again from the particular PC, that is PC7, we are getting the reply. So thus the connection is established, the routing mechanism is established using EIGRP protocol. Thank you.